Hey, everybody. Welcome to Threesome Podcast number 138. It's Lex and Stacey. How you doing, Stacey?
Hello. Hi, Lex. How are you?
Doing great. For those of you that don't know, Stacey's had kind of a tough week, so I just wanted to say I'm sorry about you losing a family member.
Thank you.
In your stable.
Yes.
Stacey's donkey died.
Yes. Unexpectedly.
So you had two donkeys, right?
Yeah. Yes. Now I have one.
Now this is the offspring of the other one, right?
Yeah. It was the baby that died, even though she wasn't a baby anymore.
Oh man, but Stacey was pretty rattled, so
Yes.
We decided, to take a couple days off and let her get past that. She had to have animal control come out and get it. Which I had to help her with. She didn't even know that was a possibility, so she just had a dead donkey laying out there, and she was wondering what to do with it. And
It was very heavy. I had a cart that goes on the back of the tractor, and I was trying to. It's one of those that tilt, so you can dump if you've got dirt in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was tipped up. It's just one of those things, I know this, it was just awful. And so I'm just sitting there trying to get the donkey into the cart, and I got her in there enough. But then
kind of half-assed.
Trying to pull the cart back down.
Sorry.
Then so then it was nice, flat, so that it could roll, and I couldn't get it.
I had a sleepless night after telling you the donkey jokes when you obviously were pretty torn up. I'm sorry about that.
Lex was pretty heartless.
Yeah. She's like, "Can we record tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, what time?" She's like, about 11 or 12. And I said, "Yeah, man, it's on like Donkey Kong." Oh, sorry.
Lex also said, he's like, "I want you to cry on air because that will be great radio." And I feel that I've already given enough of myself with the whole adoption story. Me breaking down and weeping openly because of my donkey isn't something that I want to do.
Well, being the ass that I am, you never give enough of yourself.
I've given a lot of myself. I recall vividly getting hit in the face with a golf ball for the Stacey Olympics.
Well, you had protection gear on, so don't get dramatic.
It was a motorcycle helmet, and the visor shattered.
Okay, well, what would you rather get hit with, a motorcycle or a golf ball? Okay, defense rests.
Yes.
Yeah, it was scary. It really was. I mean, she fell like Benny Hill, and
understand. And I wasn't just wearing. Oh God, looking back now, older me goes, "What the fuck?" I was in, because one of the things, because anyone who doesn't listen to Lex and Terry, and of course this was 2 decades ago, the Stacey Olympics, they had me do a series of 5 things.
Everything you didn't like.
Yeah, and they paid me $1,000. This was because they couldn't really give me a raise. So this was their very nice, sweet way of giving me a raise. So I got $1,000 for each one of these tasks that I performed. And one of them was getting attacked by dogs, like the attack dogs, that Rottweiler and stuff. And so I had to put this suit on, which is 70 pounds of this suit. And it's run. They're run. And so I'm going dunk, 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 because I look like the Michelin Man in this outfit.
She couldn't bend her arms or legs, so the running thing was just funny as hell.
And I can hear that dog, that 100+ pound dog coming. It was running that ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. And that's oh God.
Yeah, I mean the closing speed, if you're watching it just standing there, was just sick. This thing was on top of her in 3 seconds from 100 yards away, and just hit her. I mean, he launched like 15 yards away and hits her, and she falls down, and there's 17 or 18 people out there going, and two people
He's dragging me.
And two people going,
I like turtle in. I like pull my head inside the suit and my hands. And remember, I had those bruises on my arm. Like, he didn't break skin or anything, but just from the power of his jaw grabbing my arm, he bruised me terribly. Just because of the pinching action kind of thing.
Do you remember our discussion that because you were living with that asshole at the time? You remember our discussion that it's like, this doesn't necessarily have to be the dog's fault.
I remember.
If you get what I'm throwing down here.
I remember.
And Stacey, who of course was still in blind love, didn't want to do that. But Terry and I were like, that's a great idea.
Well, that suit, anyway, going full circle with the story, but that dog suit, the attack suit, that's what they had me put on for the driving range. That and a motorcycle helmet. And I'm like 100 yards out at this driving range, and they had just invited, this was all live on the air, and invited all of Jacksonville to come to the driving range and try to hit me.
And we had like 60 stalls, and we were 5 deep in people at this thing. So
they gave me a garbage can too to try to catch the golf ball.
Yeah.
So again, I'm running like the Michelin Man because I can't bend anything because I'm in that dog suit, and I've just got my arms straight out.
Well, you were against somebody else on the show at catching balls, and that was the. So there was money incentive there as well. And then it gets to near the end where we're having to wrap it up. So we're basically telling everybody to empty their buckets. This is your last chance to hit Stacey.
And nobody's hit me. I've been completely unscathed up until this point. I can hear them zipping by.
Yeah. So I remember this. I mean, it's so vivid in my mind because I really was frightened, about numerous things, like, you dying, the show coming to an end and everybody on it not having jobs and mouths to feed. And I mean, just, the worst of the worst thoughts going through my head, that
when I was like, what were we thinking? Why are we doing this?
Yeah. Where, one of those things, it's like, Lex, you've been in business a long time. You know better than this, but here we are. And she gets hit. This guy sculls this 4-iron. And she's standing right by the 150 mark, and this guy hits this thing, and it never went up or down. It just went eye level straight at Stacey, and we're going run, and she's like, what? Run, and this thing clunks her right on the helmet, and she fell over instantaneously. I mean, just take like a cane or a stick or something and throw it at the ground while trying to keep the base of it on the ground, and she hit quicker than that.
It was the dog suit.
And there was like this silence.
Holy shit, we just killed Stacey.
And we're on the air doing this play-by-play, so I think somebody did say, and I do believe we just killed Stacey with a scald 4-iron. And the guy was like all over himself, and I said, hey, it's not like you hit it right. It wasn't a thing of beauty, but you got the job done. And she's just laying out there. Nobody's checking on her because nobody wants to run out in the middle of thousands of golf balls. So we finally get out there, and she gets up like a champ. And we're like, you
completely shattered that visor.
Yeah.
Which, again, thinking I can't believe, because I just laid there, and it was one of those like where I'm just sitting there, because it rang my bell. It hit my helmet, so I was like stunned, and I'm laying there thinking, okay, what has happened? I'm not feeling anything yet. So is there blood? Like, am I actually, is there like gray matter of my brain, like on the ground? What is, because I didn't hurt or anything.
No, and we were just like, just lay right there. Just stay there for a sec. And
it was nothing. Like, even with that visor shattering, like nothing I was completely unscathed. Completely. I shouldn't have been.
And Terry goes, why, I said, why, he goes, why is she laying there? And I went, well, for drama purposes.
Not at that time.
And he goes,
I needed help getting up.
I don't think she cares about that. I said, I know that, but it's working. So she finally gets up. Everything's cool. She was a total champ. You have no idea the respect level but from us two guys, and I'm sure everybody else. Your respect level just went through the roof. Cause
ball to the face for you boys.
Yeah, and you weren't a pussy about it or anything. It was just like, is my Olympics over now? Are we good?
No, I still had to go to Six Flags.
Yeah, and that.
No, because the first one was the in studio, which was the first Drunk Bitch Friday.
Yeah, but
then there was the dog.
Manny won.
Yes. They had that grid on the floor for me to puke on. And Michelle being the sweetest bestie ever, holding my hair and petting my head.
Yeah, well, the grid was there from the Super Bowl. We did that for the Super Bowl. One of those boxes where the score is, whatever it meets. So wherever she threw up is the amount of money that person won. And I'm proud to say Manny won $75. and who was holding your hair?
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle was holding your hair. And then we went to Valdosta and did the thing, the roller coaster thing where you had to ride.
They opened up Six Flags really, really early for me in the morning, which was really, really sweet. To this day, like, I still that's kind of like a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like, they opened that park specifically for me. That is like cool. And you had set me with Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a limo all the way up there, and Thomas is plying me with, what's the black licorice? Jaeger.
Yeah, Jägermeister, yeah.
Peeps. Like Easter peeps.
Yeah, peeps.
Just getting like the grossest shit into me, so that when we got there, whatever roller coaster I rode first didn't make me puke. They're just having me go around and around and around and around, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. And then it was whatever roller coaster, like, you go forward and it stops, and then you go backwards.
Yes.
And that was the one that I finally hurled my Jaeger and Peeps all over.
Oh, God. And it...
And then Thomas bitched all the way home because the inside of the... of the limo smelled like licorice.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also he's like, you guys are gonna pay me back for this, right? We're like, yeah, but he still kept bitching about it anyway. And finally, it's like, okay, we paid for everything, Thomas. For one thing, it's like nothing came out of your pocket, but you're the guy that picked Jägermeister.
Yes.
So it's your car, your situation, your setup. I don't know why you're pissed at us. I definitely would have gone with something a little more palatable.
It was gross.
Figuring that you got to smell it all the way home. Because the only thing that smells worse than that is that coming out of somebody's stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just horrendous.
I don't mind like black licorice. Like I've never had like licorice that's black licorice, but like the jelly beans and stuff. I don't mind the black jelly beans. But yeah, the Jaeger is just like I can't do that. That's not a thing that I ever get at a bar ever. Oh, it's just so gross.
But good times.
And then do you remember what the fifth one was?
I don't.
I had to make out with whoever came in.
Oh, that's right.
To the studio. Female was. It had to be females. There was no guys. Yeah.
And of course they had to agree.
Yeah.
And I forget who you made out with.
It was a few people. Mother and daughter came in.
That's right.
Yeah. Got to make out with both of them on the air.
That's right.
Which doesn't really translate too well.
No. That's right, because I got a nasty email from the mom about us making them do that. And she's like, we didn't know that you were, going to make us really do it. And and Terry and I looked at each other like, what did you envision? Because you have heard the show, right? We don't fake anything. I mean, anything.
Well, I didn't know she emailed you. That's too bad.
Yeah. And,
but it does make a great story. Like, when I'm talking to guys, it's like, I made out with a mother and daughter.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what transpired, but I do remember the explanation that I gave, which kind of, and I don't remember the exact question per se, but the explanation I gave was, you turned to your daughter and she turned back to you, and you made an agreement outside of the premises to make a little money and put your integrity to the side and make out with Stacey.
Woo!
Yeah, and and you saw it through. You carried it all the way through, beginning to end, your idea. And I don't know what you're upset about or why you want.
It was just kissing, for God's sake. It wasn't like I was fingering anyone.
No, right. And I just said, I don't know what you were expecting, but it wasn't that horrible. Your explanation of it, because you're all over the place, actually sounds a lot worse than really just about anything that's even running through our minds right now.
Right.
So the best way to handle this, ma'am, is to probably sweep it under the rug and get up tomorrow and put it behind you as a memory. And I didn't hear back from her for like a year. And she just said, we got over it.
Well, good.
We're not going to pursue from here. And,
well, thank you for not telling me that. I had no idea.
Yeah, and I wanted to go. I just wanted to say, pursue what? I mean, what are you pursuing here? Yeah, it's you and your daughter made out with a chick. That's basically it.
And I know I certainly wasn't forcing myself on anyone. That was like,
No.
I was embarrassed. That was a shy thing. So I wasn't going, come on, baby. La, 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 la.
Neither were we. That was the thing.
No, I know. It was, and it certainly wasn't like the doors were, we weren't Louis C.K.ing her or anything.
And it seemed the more, easy the task was, the more questions and difficulty got raised. It was really strange.
Right. It's okay to kill me.
Yeah.
with no legal ramifications.
Yeah, I mean, none of it was about you. It was all the emails and everything were about themselves, which was just insanity. It really was. It was ridiculous.
Well, my point was, with all of this,
originally,
I have given a lot of myself to you and the show and everything. So,
yeah, you have.
Crying for my donkey. I just want to keep that for myself, if you don't mind. Rest assured, it was. I'll even say this. Friday night, she seemed fine. I didn't notice anything different. It wasn't like she was being mopey or anything. And Saturday morning, I found her out in the field, like by the back fence. She hadn't been attacked or anything. I obviously looked, and I was just standing there having this huge, huge, ugly freak out cry. And Mama Donkey came up and just stood next to me and leaned really hard up against me. And we just stood there like that. There you go. I was just like, oh, I just feel bad for her.
Mama, ooh, didn't mean to make you cry.
And now she's really
just
clingy.
Sitting there picturing you listening to that part of the song and getting all melancholy about it, with the two, with the two obviously distressed girls, the mother and daughter, the three of you just sitting there with your arms around each other, getting through that horrible moment in your lifetime while Freddie Mercury sings to you. And just as you're about over it and patting each other on the shoulders, I'm just a little silhouette of a... And then you all start singing it together.
And we headbang.
Yeah. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can you do the fandango, thunderbolt and lightning?
Very, very frightening. Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Galileo! I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy.
Oh.
I'm sorry to say, I know the lyrics to that whole thing. Which we were just talking on the air the other day about. Even my favorite songs, my favorite of the favorite, I can't remember the lyrics to them most of the time.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll be close, but I'll always get something wrong. But that song, I really think if I was like in a prison camp and the evil Gestapo guy, with the armband and the, and the crazy.
This is where we go into Lex's Nazi exploitation film.
Yeah, but it's not Nazi. It's a new regime, and it's got some just badass logo. Because say what you want, it's a waste that was the logo. It really was. I've heard people say it time and time again, that, it's too bad that the worst thing that ever happened in the world ever has that logo attached to it, because that would have been really cool with something nice. some sort of like surf logo or something.
Okay, let's change the subject.
Yeah.
Because this can't end well. This conversation can't end well.
Yes, it can. I mean, I'm just talking about aesthetics and a logo. You got to remove the.
I think a swastika would make a great surfer.
Well, I mean, if let's just say that never happened, and somebody came up with that logo, for like some sort of sports thing or something, somebody would probably think it's cool.
Sure. But alas, it was used for something else.
Well, yeah,
that doesn't involve surfing.
Yeah, you're not playing the game with me here.
I know, because it's kind of a horrifying thing.
Well, I know, but it's like it never existed. Let's just say it never existed, and somebody comes in your office and says, "Hey, boss, I think this logo would look really cool with this new thing we're designing." I think, me personally, I would go, that is badass. Look at that.
I'd say put some flames on it.
Yeah.
Some flames around the outside.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but if that had some like fire and maybe some some sort of cataclysmic backdrop to it, I think we're almost there. Take it down to graphics and see what they can do with it. And then the next day, Lex, pack your stuff and go. Why? Well, the guy in graphics, he found an investor and bought the company, and he wants you out. And he says he's going to build the biggest, baddest surf machine this planet's ever seen, and it's going to take over the world of surfing and pretty much
like a surfing time machine
and run all of its competitors out, and that's I don't know what got into him, but that's what he wants to do. And I'm sorry, you've lost your job, you've lost everything. You're going to get a nice check on the way out because it's your company, but in the last 12 hours, he's really done a lot of work. I don't know what it is about that logo that made him do that. But he's a changed man.
It's the power of the swastika.
It's the logo, man. It just you can put it in any situation and it like changes everything. Yeah. Look at Babies Are Us. It's like this is the new Babies Are Us logo. It's got little, like the one part has booties hanging off of it, and the other one has like one of those, mobiles that are like over the crib, and the other one's got this. We think it's going to be the biggest thing in baby business ever.
Little swastikas, just dangling around.
Yeah. There's like little swastika onesies.
It's right up there with Daddy Drinks Because I Cry.
Yes.
Which my all-time favorite baby onesie thing is, now that I'm safe, I'm pro-choice. That makes me laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, my mind goes weird places when it comes to stuff like that. You think about the Nike swoosh. It's the same thing. It's
Did
just
it kill Jews too?
No. I mean, I'm just saying it's. Maybe little Chinese kids, but it's just it's such a.
It's made with the tears of orphans.
Yeah, it's just got such a cool look to it. It would just be a shame to see it wasted on something so evil and even 1,000 years from now would not be acceptable. To be on anything.
Right.
So, I mean, let's think about it. Even something from medieval times, you don't see on a marketing logo anywhere. I mean, once it's done, it's done.
Yes.
But it's if you're just looking at it, if somebody came in, you have no idea what it is or where it's been. I think 9 out of 10 people would go, "That's cool."
Perhaps.
Especially if your company starts like with Z or something like that. It's a no-brainer. It's like, our new Zuzu surfboard company. Just like intertwine those two Z's. I think we got this.
Yes. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe how uncomfortable this is making you. It's just a logo.
So much. It is a logo, but it is more than that. And even though I know what you're trying to do and saying, we're pretending it didn't exist before, the fact is that it does exist, and it represents the death of 6 million people, and still to this day, really bad people. So it is uncomfortable.
The worst of the worst.
Yes.
Or worst thing that's probably
Unless you're Donald Trump, then you find them to be very fine people because he's an asshole.
Well, that was random.
Can't help myself.
No, you can't. Just had to work it in there.
He is an asshole.
I think
he likes Nazis.
I think you have to be an asshole to be president. You can dress it up. You can dress it up however you want.
Personality characteristics that are needed. I will agree with that. And for instance, I think Jimmy Carter did not possess those, even though he is a wonderful man. What an amazing man Jimmy Carter is. I just think that Donald Trump is beyond that,
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely...
He's going to go down. He's going down. It's fun right now watching him squirm and shit himself. And I'm enjoying it, finally. Finally gleaning a little joy from all this whole hell for almost a year and a half now.
Yeah, it's not somebody you would think is going to do the right thing, if you're like on a desert island or something. And
he and I are stuck on a desert island. I'm killing him first because I wouldn't put it past him to not eat me. And I don't mean in a fun way. I think that he would totally kill me in my sleep and eat me. I think he would do it to you too. I think the man lacks all goodness and sense of decency, and we are watching him right now. Do we want to get into this, or do we want to talk about it in the next episode? Because this is going to go really, really long because the buzzer's already gone off.
Yeah, we can talk about it next episode. No problem.
All right.
It's just, and I'll just leave it at this. He puts off a vibe that he's first. So
it's not a vibe; it's a way of life. Watch. All you have to do is watch him getting off Air Force One with Melania, and the way he does. It doesn't even occur to him to put his hand on the small of her back and to wait for her as she walks down the stairs in heels. It doesn't occur to him that simple, single, tiny little act of decency is something that 95% of most humans possess.
Yes. But if you're on the desert... I have men
that I don't know do that for me, and not in a lascivious, gross, ooh, I'm going to touch your tits now kind of thing. Just, you watch people...
oh, you just look like little old ladies. Some big guy comes up, and will like help her down the stairs or something. That's like a decent thing. Donald Trump would never do that. He would push Betty White down the stairs because he's a terrible man.
We don't know.
Donald Trump.
We don't know that for sure that he would kill Betty White.
I know this.
But I'm coming from the place where you're on the plane with. He's just another guy on the plane. So are you, and the plane crashes, and you end up, just he and you on the island. He puts off the vibe.
I am going full on Lord of the Flies.
He puts off the vibe to me that I would have to be careful right away without knowing him.
I would start sharpening sticks and hiding them, so that I always had something to grab. And I would live up in a tree because I know he wouldn't be able to follow me up there. And I would just pelt him with coconuts or something. I don't know. I wouldn't trust him. He would so kill me and eat me. He would you too. He would anyway.
I don't know that for sure.
I do.
But I definitely get the vibe that I would have to be very cautious.
And the first time he told me to do something, hey, why don't you go build a shelter? I'd be like, oh, no, you didn't. Go build it yourself, old man.
Oh, my God.
I've got my shelter over here in my palm tree. Fuck you.
Wow.
I've got my sharp sticks.
But what if it's raining and storming and you have to stay in the same place so you can both be
dry?
sheltered and dry? And, what if you get into a conversation with them where you actually see the true personal inner side of him, and he turns out to be
it's not going to happen.
Totally cool to you.
He is devoid of all personable decency, goodness. There is nothing in him that's good. Nothing. Not a damn thing. I would sit there if I had to share a cave with him, and I would just, you've seen me a couple times in my life get mean.
Yes.
I would be mean for sport. It would be my pleasure just sitting there and picking him apart and ripping on him and seeing how far I could go. I would want to be the guy that Hannibal the Cannibal made swallow the tongue. I would want to be, I want him to swallow his tongue. I want to be Hannibal the Cannibal where I tell him to swallow your fucking tongue and die.
Jesus.
He's a terrible person and he's ruining this world. The world, not just this country, the world.
Well,
he's going off
somewhere.
yesterday. He started taunting Russia on Twitter.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is whatever is happening now, with Cohen getting, raided and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that Trump at this point now is they're already on to me. They know I'm going to get busted. There's no reason now to protect Russia because Russia, has stuff on me. And so now this is why he's getting bold with Russia, because he's to the point where he's I have nothing left to lose.
Wow. You really need to see somebody.
Nope, I'm good. I am counting the days until it's Mueller time.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that since we're going to launch right back into this on the next episode. So keep those thoughts, Stacey, and we will go ahead and get into it on number 139. That's right, 139 podcasts. It's just incredibly unbelievable. It really
I know.
is.
Considering how often we don't record.
Yeah. Well, I did the math. If we would have been diligent about the 3 podcasts a week, we would have been somewhere in the 280s, 290s.
Well, this summer, like in July, I think it'll be 4 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
I know, considering this is just a labor of love.
Yeah, right now it is. Although we do have a sponsor.
I know, we forgot. Sunglasses.
No, we didn't forget. We got to make commercials for it,
okay.
which I'll edit in. But
Daily 20.
Yeah, so it's very cool. I mean, these sunglasses, Stacey. I know you haven't had an opportunity to get on the site and pick your pairs out yet and all that stuff, which I am definitely going to make sure you do. But especially the choices.
They would have been useful to hide my tears from my donkey.
Yes. Let me do the commercial, please. For one thing, the lenses which is what I expected to be a tremendous downgrade from my Oakleys, weren't. They literally look the same when I look out of them. My Oakley frog skins, which are my jam since I was like 16 years old. I bought like one of the first pair to come out in the surf shop that was near my house.
With the swastika logo.
No swastika logo. Yeah, it's maybe another planet, another time. But the quality of the lens was phenomenal. I got a style I got was Natty Ice is what it was called. So it's got like this
Natty Ice?
bright green Natty Ice, Natty ICE, I believe. Not Matty Ice like the quarterback for the Falcons.
I was thinking more like old Milwaukee or something.
Oh, okay. Well, it really doesn't matter what they had behind it. I'm just trying to describe the sunglasses. It's supposed to be a 1-minute commercial.
Oh.
And which they never are, but it doesn't have to be 10 either. And
sorry, sponsor.
So no, sorry, they don't care. Yeah, right now they think they're ass raping you on how much time they're getting. But it is you literally put these up next to my Oakleys. They're every bit as good. And what essentially looks like the same pair of sunglasses. And they're $35, where the Oakleys are $120.
Perfect.
So, you basically are paying for a brand with them. And maybe one day Blenders will do the same thing, but I don't think they'll ever do it to that extent. It's just sunglasses are ridiculous, the markup on them, all the companies. Right. And these guys...
It's the rent they have to pay for the kiosks there in the middle of the mall.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are doing the same thing that Harry's did with shaving. Something everybody uses, and for the most part, takes for granted that they're just going to have to spend between $100 and $200 for a decent pair of sunglasses. You don't have to do that anymore.
So blenders.com?
Blenderseyewear.com.
Sorry, blenderseyewear.com.
That's okay. I'm
use the code Staley20. That's Staley with an EY.
Yeah, STALEY 20. And I was going to say the styles they have for women are endless. And, guys just use kind of the same 5 styles I've noticed with just about any sunglass company. But and they have them, and they have them in all types of different lenses. They also have polarized, if you want that. They're a little more. But
what's that?
It cuts the glare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's an extra snazzy level.
Like fishermen use them, because, when you're looking at the water, it takes all that
the shine, the sparkle.
Yeah, it dials down the glare. It's
gotcha.
So you spend a little more for them, but not much. They're not beating you up too bad. And I just like the product so much, I contacted them, and they said, "Yeah, well, we'll do this program with you."
Cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's meant for retailers and stuff like that, but I talked them into it.
Blender with an S, Blenders or Blender Eyewear?
Blenders, BLENDERS, eyewear.com. And for you guys that can't spell, eyewear is WEAR, EYEWEAR, all together, blenderseyewear.com. And your promo code is Staley20, and you will get 20% off your purchase if you spend over $50. And free shipping.
Perfect.
Lisa and I bought 4 pair of sunglasses and spent less than my 1 pair of Oakleys.
Perfect.
And they're great sunglasses. So I just kept our Lex and Terry model intact, where we have to love the product or we just don't do it. We don't. And this fits nicely in that philosophy. You will enjoy them if you go ahead and take the plunge. And there is our big introductory description of blenderseyewear.com. Staley20, your promo code.
Go do it now.
Right now, please.
Show us how much you appreciate the podcast and do it. Damn it.
Yeah. And we believe in ourselves and believe in you so much, that's how we get paid, is the promo code. We don't take any spot money, like a lot of the whores do out there, where whether the commercial brings anybody to the party or not, they still go ahead and pay for it.
Right.
That's BS. You should when you buy advertising, you should get results, and we know you guys will make us look good that way. So that's the way it's going down. And now you've been informed, and now you can get ready for Threesome Podcast number 139, which is coming your way on the next episode. And you've already heard how that's going to start. So we will say goodbye. We'll see you next time. Bye.